Welcome to Goat vs. Fish in the mornings. In for a goat, in for a fish. Enjoy this song of Goat vs. Fish called Do You Be Goat or Fish? Found on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, and YouTube. While we make our preparation for the morning verses. Celebration, we are so pleased that you are here. Proceeding in the verses without fear. So here we verses.
Do you be goat? 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 Do you be fish? Do you be fish? Do you be fish? Do you be goat? Do you be goat? Or do you be fish? Because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence. Well, goats are of the land and fish are of the sea. But goat versus fish, which one do you be? Do you be goat or a fish? Meh. Do you be goat or a fish? Because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence. Now repeat after goat versus fish. Dooby 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 dooby. A dooby goat, dooby goat, dooby goat, dooby goat, or dooby fish, a dooby goat or a fish, because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence. Well, goat versus fish came up to me and said, a goat or a fish, which one do you be? Do you be goat or a fish? 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 Because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish? Don't sit on the fence. Because the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. The beautiful man singer sits on the fence. But the goats do be goat and the fish do be fish. Do you be goat or a fish?
As we continue the promotion of Goat vs. Fish mornings, enjoy this next track by Thunder Tracks. Wait a verses. We did the goat versus last verses. Let's do the fish versus this verses. We're in for a goat, we're in for a fish.
Make some noise for the Make some noise for the fish. 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 Make some noise for the fish.
That was Thundertracks with 13 Twitch Admit 1 Fish Celebration. Goat versus Fish Mornings continues. This Wednesday versus now 6 in a row for the show. Goat versus Fish determines now we're setting a versus. Goat versus Fish morning streams on Mon versus, Tues versus, Wednes versus, and Thurs versus, and maybe Fry versus. Maybe Fry versus. It's a morning versus. We want you to get your Goat versus Fish in as you are going off to work, or your dedications, or dropping the fish off at the pool, or whatever it is that you are having to accomplish. We want Goat versus Fish to be there for your encouragement. Now, some Goat and Fish, they versus on Saturdays and Sundays, it's true. Goat versus Fish often versus is on Saturdays and Sundays, it's true. But Goat versus Fish, we're in for a goat, we're in for a fish. We want Goat versus Fish mornings to be consistent. We want Goat versus Fish mornings to be something that you can depend on. And the best way that we can help you to depend on Goat versus Fish in the mornings is to make it versable for Goat versus Fish. So Goat versus Fish, we're going to versus Mon versus, Tues versus, Wednes versus, Thurs versus, maybe Fry versus, maybe as a bonus versus, and then we'll see about Saturday versus and Sun versus. There can always be more Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish could go live at any versus, but Goat versus Fish will be here. Mon versus, Tues versus, Wednes versus, Thurs versus. Pat Estedor is in the chat and says, I need a bonus versus. You need a bonus versus? Well, you know how to get it from Goat versus Fish. And that's contributions. When you start making contributions to Goat versus Fish, when you become Patreon patrons of Goat versus Fish, it will entice Goat versus Fish. But before Goat versus Fish tells you to give us monetary compensation for what is a free service of Goat versus Fish, how about we get a nice look at Goat versus Fish and we start this versus. Let's start the versus. Welcome to Goat versus Fish. Welcome to Goat versus Fish. And the versus. It seems a bit dark to Goat versus Fish. Doesn't something look a bit different to Goat versus Fish? Let's try a little illumination amplification. Let's try some illumination amplification here on Goat versus Fish. How about this? How about just more verses, more illumination, How's that versus? That looks a bit more Goat versus Fish. That looks about more what the versus is used to. That's what we like to see. Hi, Scott from Canada. Yes, we've got some Goat and Fish already in here, but allow Goat versus Fish to say something in your ear, The title of this versus of this stream is In for a Goat, In for a Fish. Goat versus Fish knows that there are many idioms in what you call language, that thing that weird, pesky little thing that you use to make communication with one another that is filled with all kinds of internal contradictions and things that don't make any sense. The fence being the fence that the fence sitter sits upon and choosing neither goat nor fish. And yet somehow, still, we communicate goat versus fish to one another in spite of its limitations. And there are these things that are either goat or fish, and they're called idioms. They're called idioms, and at first we thought they were calling goat versus fish an idiot. They said, in for a penny, in for a pound? What, do you think goat versus fish is some kind of idiot? Like we don't know that there's a penny and there's a pound and that one of them must be a goat and one of them must be a fish? Because if there's an idiom that has one verses in it and it has another verses in it and there seems to be some kind of parallel linguistic thing happening, that it's not going to be that one of them is the goat and one of them is the fish. Maybe it's a penny fish, maybe it's a pound goat, maybe it's a pound fish, maybe it's a penny goat. Goat versus fish doesn't care if the penny has been discontinued. Goat versus fish knows that if you're in for a penny, in for a pound, then you're in for a goat, in for a fish. Or perhaps you could be in for a fish and in for a goat. But in any verses, this is goat versus fish, so we're going to say in for a goat, in for a fish. Now, goat versus fish pondered, of course. It's goat versus fish. And the goat can be viewed as being in diametric opposition to the fish, sort of the inverse. That goat and fish are the inverse of one another, and in that verses, goat versus fish could say that the goat versus fishification of in for a penny, in for a pound would actually be not in for a goat, in for a fish, but in for a goat, out for a fish. Because if the goat is in, then the fish is out, and if the goat is a Togenberg and then the fish is a trout. Because the goat is goat and the fish is fish. So if the goat is in, then the fish is out. In for a penny, in for a pound, in for a goat, in for a fish, in for a goat, out for a fish. But if in and out are the reverse of one another, and one is goat and one is fish, and if goat and fish are the inverse of one another, and one is fish and one is goat, then in for a goat, out for a fish, the out of the fish would out the fish and reverse the fish, and we know that the inverse of a fish would be goat. So in for a goat, out for a fish could be translation as in for a goat, out for a fish, out and the fish, cancellation, out reverses the fish into being goat, and in for a goat, out for a fish becomes in for a goat, out for a goat. And that would be a whole other verses. In for a goat, out for a goat is a whole other conversation. Now, goat versus fish could versus to you in for a goat, out for a fish, and it could be a double reverse verses. But if goat versus fish is doing a direct translation of in for a penny, in for a pound, then goat versus fish would ponder that in for a goat, in for a fish, because the in is the verses. The in is the verses. Verses for a goat, verses for a fish. Now, if you're a goat, you may say, I don't want verses for fish. I want fences for fish. You may say, verses for goat, fences for fish. If you're a fish, you may say, verses for fish, fences for goat. But here on Goat versus Fish Mornings, do we really want to give fences to our fellow fish? Do we want to give fences to our goats? Not from Goat versus Fish. Not if you ask Goat versus Fish. Celebration. Celebration for Goat versus Fish. Not if you ask Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish wants there to be verses for goat and for fish, especially on Goat versus Fish Mornings. Goat versus Fish Mornings is here for your motivation, for your dedication, for your preparation, and to relieve your constipation here on Goat vs. Fish Mornings, where you show up for Goat vs. Fish and Goat vs. Fish shows up for you. Now we know that when goat and fish start versing, the goat might start flinging fence posts at fish and vice versa. But here on Goat vs. Fish Mornings, we want all the goat and fish in the congregation who are here right now to know that it's not fences for goat and fish, it's verses for goat and for fish. Some of you may say, Some of you may complain. Some of you may refrain from complaining, but some of you may be pondering. And some of you may be not pondering at all. You're just waiting for Goat vs. Fish to fill your mind with Goat vs. Fish, and do not despair. Goat vs. Fish will clearly be filling your mind with Goat vs. Fish. You may say, "You're late, Goat vs. Fish, you're late! You're late, and you should have been here earlier last verses. You went live earlier, and now you're here. Now you're here. I was trying to get my morning routine going, and Goat vs. Fish was late." Well, by all verses, you can blame Goat vs. Fish. Yes, you're already becoming addicted to Goat vs. Fish. You already need Goat vs. Fish to get your morning started. It's all going swimmingly for Goat vs. Fish. Well, apologization from Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish is so sorry. Goat vs. Fish is so sorry. Goat vs. Fish does apologization to you. We know that your nasty boss and all of those politicians would never apologize to you. They're just mean, nasty fence sitters that don't want to take any responsibility. But Goat vs. Fish is here to say, sorry! Sorry about that. But it's still Goat vs. Fish. Appreciation to Ainyo, who resubscribes for 55 months to Goat vs. Fish. 59 months to Goat vs. Fish. 59 months of Ainyo. Celebration. This is old verses here. This is old verses. But what Goat vs. Fish is meaning to communication to you is that tardy as Goat vs. Fish may be, and yes, some out there in the LA comedy scene do accuse Goat vs. Fish of being very tardy. Goat vs. Fish may be tardy, but Goat vs. Fish is still here for you because Goat vs. Fish has made a commitment to Goat vs. Fish. That Goat vs. Fish has made a commitment to you that Goat vs. Fish is in for a goat and in for a fish. We're not half fencing this thing. We're not sliding one cheek on the fence and seeing which way the versus blows. No, no, no. Goat vs. Fish has chose. Goat vs. Fish has chose. Goat vs. Fish in the mornings. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Goat vs. Fish will bring you Goat vs. Fish in the mornings. At this versus, you can expectation Goat vs. Fish to be going live, perhaps at 8:30, live by 9, Goat vs. Fish. We're going to feel out the verses. We're going to see when the Goat and Fish arrive, and we're going to give Goat vs. Fish a little bit of verses to get into this new routine. But between 8 and 8:30, you can expect Goat vs. Fish. Come 8 a.m., expect Goat vs. Fish to be going live at any verses, Get notifications on Discord, get notifications on Instagram, get notifications on the Patreon of Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish is in for a goat and in for a fish because Goat vs. Fish feels such invigoration from this going live ever so early. How much rest did Goat vs. Fish get last verses? Goat vs. Fish got a grand versus of 1 hour of rest last verses. 1 beautiful hour of rest. No, but Goat vs. Fish, we caught just the rest of Goat vs. Fish. But before that, Goat vs. Fish had another rest earlier in the verses. And yes, the sleep of Goat vs. Fish, it's a whole reconfiguration kind of situation. The standing up comedy situation has Goat vs. Fish out late some verses, but then early morning Goat vs. Fish. But all kinds of verses can happen in the early morning of Goat vs. Fish. And that's when you need Goat vs. Fish most. We'll see who's committed to Goat vs. Fish. When Goat vs. Fish invites guests to come on to Goat vs. Fish mornings, we'll see how committed they are to Goat vs. Fish. We're going to find out. We're going to find out how committed they are to Goat vs. Fish. Will they show up early to Goat vs. Fish? Will they see all the beautiful goat and fish, all the beautiful goat and fish here in the living verses? And when they see the power of Goat vs. Fish, when they see the power that Goat vs. Fish imbues unto you and the power that you reflect back to Goat vs. Fish and the motivation and the celebration, they will know that Goat vs. Fish is a beautiful versus, and you prove it. You prove it by being here. Appreciation to you, the congregation of Goat and Fish. Let's get to the chat. Weedpipe says, why only 1 hour? Why only 1 hour? Well, the living morning streams have been recently about 2 hours, about 2 hour stream. Goat vs. Fish will promise you 1 hour, perhaps 2. Goat vs. Fish, of course we could stream longer. But Goat vs. Fish has verses to do. Goat vs. Fish has verses to do, just like you. Perhaps when Goat vs. Fish is receiving more patrons, perhaps when there's even more monetary compensation for Goat vs. Fish, perhaps when there's this justification, Goat vs. Fish can go longer. But Goat vs. Fish would rather promise you 1 versus and give you 1 million verses than promise you 1 million verses and only give you 1 verses. But of course, each verses contains 1 million verses within each verses, so Goat vs. Fish is always giving you 1 million verses, even when we give you 1 verses. But that's neither goat nor fish. That's neither penny nor pound. That's neither here nor there. That's neither fence nor verses. That's neither unification nor are you goat or are you fish. But what it is Goat vs. Fish, and what it is Goat vs. Fish telling you that the live morning streams will be about 1 to 2 hours long, perhaps longer, but we leave you wanting more Goat vs. Fish, we leave you wanting more Goat vs. Fish, and speaking of more Goat vs. Fish, speaking of more Goat versus Fish, let's have a look at the old verses. Here we see that there were 19 goat dropped in to say goat to Goat versus Fish. 19 goat, and there were 10, 11, 12 fish who said fish to Goat versus Fish. And there was a fence sitter. There were 2 subscriptions, 2 fish subscribers who subscribed to Goat vs. Fish on Twitch. And Fish did win a versus. Fish won a versus. Goat vs. Fish called upon the goat and fish in the congregation, in the chat of Goat vs. Fish, to make sounds of goat and fish. To shout it out and to type it out. 2 goat sounded out. Oh, goat! Ah! Goat is so eager to verses. Goat so eager to verses. Get back in the verses, goat. And 3 fish. 3 fish made noise, so that was a triumph for fish. But that's old verses now. It's time for a new verses. So even though the goat outnumbered the fish, we have to say that the triumph went to fish. And looking now, let's say starting at Mun verses. This is Wen's verses. Fish won the Mun verses, and Fish won the Twos verses streams. So if we're looking at who's going to triumph this week, Fish already has 2. There's already 2 wins for Fish. Sure, there's more goat. But Goat versus Fish will be the final judge and arbiter of the triumph. But you can also say that Goat versus Fish is being unfair and that you're going to decide for yourself. Or you can decide that you triumphed as an individual goat or fish, even if your fellow goat or fish totally failed to have your back. Ah! Where are your fellow goat when you need them? I versed so hard, and in the end, it didn't even matter. I versed so hard, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Goat vs. Fish mornings. Goat vs. Fish mornings is dual streamed to both Twitch and YouTube. Soon, Goat vs. Fish will perhaps live stream in vertical mode as well. We'll do a vertical living stream onto YouTube as well. Try to get some of the goat and fish that way too. But one versus at a time. This versus Goat vs. Fish. Let's have another look at the title card. This versus Goat vs. Fish added a little bit of shadowy effect. Shadowy effect on the text, giving it that, it's popping out 3D looking kind of verses. We're always trying to improve the title cards of Goat vs. Fish, make those thumbnails all the better. Fish or goat, SSB Kaioken, fish or goat. In for a goat, in for a fish. So we're making small verse improvements every verses. And surely going live every verses. Look how the verses go. Now we've had this spinning rainbowification, but let's change the verses. We've got a new verses coming up. Let's change the verses. Let's get something looking different. Let's try this. Let's try something really crazy. Let's try this verses. Whoa! Fast verses, exciting verses. Goat versus Fish in the morning comes to you crazy like, whoa, Goat versus Fish. Whoa, Goat versus Fish. I didn't know it was so intense. Yes, Goat versus Fish can be an intense morning verses. Drosky510 says, Fortnite has a GoatFish pickaxe. Immediately thought of you. Drosky510, thanks for thinking of Goat versus Fish. And you are in great company because you're not the only one to think of Goat versus Fish. You're not the only one to think of the GoatFish pickaxe because guess what? It was sent to Goat versus Fish, and we have the proof. We'll show you once more just for you. Here, sent to Goat versus Fish. There's the verses. But the GoatFish pickaxe was leaving today. Is it already gone? Is the GoatFish pickaxe already gone? Drosky510, appreciation. It claims you're a first-time chatter, but you thought of Goat versus Fish. Tell us, how did you know about Goat versus Fish? And what brings you to Goat versus Fish mornings today? What brings you to Goat versus Fish? We are so pleased that you thought of Goat versus Fish. Here now, we're just erasing the previous verses because we've got to start one anew. We want you who tune in to Goat versus Fish mornings. Go. Tell the world, hey, why don't you tune in to Goat versus Fish mornings? Why don't you get your day started with Goat versus Fish? Tell them to tune in. Tell them to loon in. Goat vs. Fish Mornings is a revolution in daytime programming. Goat vs. Fish Mornings is what's going to get this nation started. Goat vs. Fish Mornings is going to boost productivity and quarterly earnings by 58%. As long as you watch Goat vs. Fish in the mornings, we promise you that your productivity will be doubled and tripled with only 1/3 of the effort. You will triple your productivity with only 1/3 of the effort. Work will feel like a relaxation. Everything you do will be easy. Slightly. With Goat versus Fish. It will just be slightly easier. Nephew Network, we have to know you will celebration of the Nephew Network. Goat versus Fish is part of the Nephew Network. Goat versus Fish is in the Nephew Network here on Twitch. Appreciation to all the Nefs out there. Appreciation to all the Nefs. So, here we are. The verses is ready to begin. And we want to know. A radiation. Rat Cousin raids Goat versus Fish. Rat Cousin raids Goat versus Fish. Celebration for Rat Cousin coming into Goat versus Fish with 43 viewers. Appreciation. We've got Grimmy, we've got Man Diggity Snack, we've got Level D Evil, we've got Wolf X, we've got Rat Cousin. Thank you. Always thank Goat versus Fish. We've got the Deadly Cabot, we've got King Slugman, we've got 3 goblins in a suit, we've got the Lucky King, we've got RW Bunny Boy, we've got Master Rocket 64, we've got Bainsworth, we've got everyone here on Goat vs. Fish. Welcome to Goat vs. Fish in the mornings. It's Goat vs. Fish in the mornings, your Versus Time radio and live streamed televersus program, here to bring you Goat and Fish and to bring you the motivation that you need to start your verses. And Goat vs. Fish wants to know, are you goat or are you fish? Congregation, drop those follows and drop your declaration of goat or fish in the chat, and we're going to get going. The verses is ready to begin. And if you're not following Rat Cousin, go follow Rat Cousin right now. Rat Cousin, Goat vs. Fish, is committed to doing Goat vs. Fish mornings at around 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., Pacific Standard Time every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday if the Goat and Fish are lucky. We would be pleased to have you as a guest, perhaps a musical guest, on Goat vs. Fish in the mornings. What is the verses of Goat vs. Fish in the mornings? Simply to gather together in the congregation to give you the motivation and the dedication you need to start your day and get out there. And if you're a goat, you can versus that fish, and if you're a fish, you can versus that goat. We know the fences of the fence sitter, the indecisiveness. Oh, it can get you down. Oh, the depression. Oh, the aggression. Oh, what am I doing with my life? Oh, why should I even get out of bed? Oh, the dread, and it's cold outside and everything sucks. But guess what? Goat versus Fish is here for you. Goat versus Fish is here for you to give you meaning back to your existence, only to take it away again and replace it with Goat versus Fish. So join Goat versus Fish every morning. And now let's have some hydration. Celebration. And if that's not enough to convince you rat cousin followers to follow Goat versus Fish, then we just have this. We just have this to say to you.
Ooh. Ah.
That's got to be AI? That's got to be AI? No. That's AI. And it's Goat versus Fish. There. Now, all of you fans of AI, guess what? You can just see AI in Goat versus Fish. Every time you look at Goat versus Fish, you can see AI. Wow. How about that? Isn't that just a beautiful, beautiful versus? Okay, Goat and Fish. Okay, Goat and Fish. Appreciation to King Slugman and Ziggy Beeps and Man Diggity Snack, who followed Goat versus Fish 5, 4, and 4 minutes ago. There were more who raided with Rat Cousin, but not all of them have followed Goat versus Fish. But that's okay. They'll be back. They'll be back for more verses. They'll be back for more verses. So the verses has come. Poostu followed ages ago. Poostu, welcome back to Goat versus Fish. Poostu is in the verses. It's been at least 5 minutes since we last saw you, Poostu. Great to have you in the verses. You've had enough time, enough pondering. Are you Goat or are you Fish? Let's get versing. How you been, bud? We've been living streaming early in the morning, and we've been. Goat versus Fish have been, and Goat versus Fish could ask you the same verses. Weed pipe is petting the fish. Weed pipe is a fish, and weed pipe is going fish. That's one fish in the verses. Celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. Do I have goat? Do I have goat? Do I have goat? Hollywood's live. Are you goat or are you fish? Pat Estedor. Are you goat or are you fish? Mendiggity Snack. Are you goat or are you fish? Scott from Canada goes goat. Scott from Canada goes goat. Celebration for goat. We've got a goat in the verses, and we've got a fish. Pat Estedor goes fish.
Yes, sir.
The remote.
The goat?
Celebration, celebration. We haven't heard the Muppets goat remote sound in at least 500 years, but we hear that Muppets Tonight is coming back, and we need to get a goat Muppet, and we need to get a fish Muppet. And Ryan Walterson with 100 bits, and it was a goat sound. We're marking Ryan Walterson down for a goat, and we're going 100. That's 100 bits for goat. That's 100 bits for goat. Yes, we measure goat and fish across all kinds of metrics. Big Hollywood's live is going big goat energy. Celebration, that's 3 goat and 2 fish. That's 3 goat and 2 fish. Sock cop. Sock cop goes fish. Sock cop goes fish. Can you present your identification, sock cop? Well, let's go to the cop. Let's go to the sock. Are you saying you want to sock a cop? Are you saying that... Those seem like big shoes to fill, Sock Cop. Those seem like big shoes to fill. Appreciation. Sock Cop declares fish. Sock Cop declares fish. So we have Drosky the fish. Poostu went goat. So we have 4 fish. And we have 4 goat. Celebration for goat and for fish. Raffle, are you goat or are you fish? Man Diggity Snack goes fish. Man Diggity Snacks goes fish. Celebration for fish. Let's get another fish in the verses. Let's get another fish in the verses. And that's 5 fish to 4 goat. That's 5 fish to 4 goat. But what about Rat Cousin? What about Rat Cousin? Raffle goes goat. Raffle goes goat. That's 5 goat. That's 5 goat. Is Rat Cousin still on the fence? Was Rat Cousin on the fence? Is Rat Cousin going goat? Or is Rat Cousin going fish? And of course, we've got the YouTube chat as well. Gary Hodges, DVSM, says, I'm a Capricorn, the goat fish. What should I do? You should choose goat or fish. It's not for the stars to declare what it is that you are. It's not for the stars to declare what it is that you are on Goat versus Fish. It's for you to choose for yourself if you're goat or fish. 99.9 LSD OCD on YouTube goes goat. Celebration for goat. And that's 6 goat in the verses. That's 6 goat in the verses. Appreciation. BBDH187 is a known fish, BBDH187 says fish, glug, glug. That's 6 fish, and that's 6 goat. And let's not forget Ryan Walterson, appreciation for the 100 bits. Ainyo the goat, celebration for goat, and Ainyo the goat with a subscription for goat. Ainyo, are you in the verses? As a subscriber to Goat versus Fish, you just subscribed to this verses, you could be a red goat. You could be a red goat. You could be a blue goat. You could be an orange goat. You could be a purple goat. You could be an invisible goat. You could be a white goat. So you tell Goat versus Fish. You tell Goat versus Fish. What kind of goat do you want to be? If you want to be a colorful goat, Goat versus Fish will color up your goat, and you can be a special goat because you are a subscriber to Goat versus Fish, and we appreciation. Raffle. We got Grimy says Goatfish. The Lucky King says Billy Goat. The Lucky King, are you still in the verses? Stretch Nuts says Goat. Stretch Nuts 94 says Goat. Celebration for Goat. Let's get one more goat. SSB Kaioken, are you goat or are you fish? Weed Pipe Fish, we got the fish. Leveled Evil says fish. So let's get another fish in the verses there. Tatum 44 says fish. Nice to versus you, Tatum 44. Tatum 44 says fish. SSB Kaioken redeemed celebration for goat for 100. So let's get a goat in the verses. Wall FXX, are you goat or fish? Master Rocket, nice to raid you too, 64. Barnsworth says I'm team fish. Celebration for fish. Appreciation Barnsworth. RW Bunny Boy, are you goat or fish? Lucky Thing, are you goat or fish? 3 Goblins in a Suit, are you goat or fish? Ziggy Beeps, are you goat or fish? What a lovely community you have, Rat Cousin. What a lovely community you have here on Goat versus Fish. It is so lovely that you brought your goat and fish to Goat versus Fish. Ziggy Beep says fish. Beep. Celebration for fish. That makes 10 fish and 9 goat. 10 fish and 9 goat. 10 fish and 9 goat. And here we are, yes, Goat and Fish. This is where the versus is now. We've got 9 goat, 10 fish, and 100 bits for goat, and 1 subscription for goat, and 1 subscription for goat. We do not see if Año is choosing to be a colorful goat or not, so Goat versus Fish is going to use this goat as a signifier of the subscription for goat. That's 1 subscription for goat. That's 1 subscription for goat. And Gary Hodges, DVSM. Oh, Gary Hodges, DVSM. That's Goat versus Fish. We're taking a closer look at your verses, Gary Hodges, because you've got VS in the verses. If Goat versus Fish remembers, because Goat versus Fish goes all out there in the universe, and we see all kinds of verses that are trying to capture the verses of Goat versus Fish, capture in a way that they are perceiving the universe, and they see Goat versus Fish. They land Goat versus Fish, and yet it can be unclear because of all the fences that make the visions of Goat versus Fish slightly obstructed. And so they perceive the verses, but they are not quite able to perceive that it's Goat versus Fish, but they know there's a verses going on, so they attempt to use their fence imagination to make a verses of their own, and some of them say dinosaurs versus Mars bots. And Gary Hodges DVSM, we wonder if DVSM is Gary Hodges dinosaurs versus Mars bots, because your iconography looks familiar to Goat versus Fish. And if that's the verses, then we must have met you at an LA Comic-Con perhaps 6 or 9 years ago, Goat versus Fish. Gary Hodges DVSM says, all right, the stars say I'm Goat. Celebration for Goat. As long as you accept the goat and not just choosing goat because the stars told you you're a goat, but you accept full-throated goat, then you're goat. And that's 10 goat, and that's 10 fish. And that's Goat versus Fish. We've got an exciting versus. We've got an excited versus happening now. It's time for our morning celebrations. Time for morning celebrations. Let's go. Let's do 10 morning celebrations. 10 morning celebrations. Are you ready? It's easy to do a morning celebration. It's easy to do a morning celebration. Just creation a bit of space for yourself like this. Get out there in space. 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 Bend at the knee. Bend at the knee. Get your feet shoulder width apart. Get your feet shoulder width apart. Come on, Goat and Fish. We've got to start off the verses. And we bend down and we bend down. Like this. As we pray to Goat versus Fish, we go down. And widen out. Celebration! Big celebration just like this. And back in with Goat versus Fish. Celebration! Exhalation and inhalation on the way down, Celebration! That's 3 celebrations. That's 3 celebrations. 3 celebrations. Let's go for 4. Celebration! Big celebration. Exhalation. Big celebration. You're greeted with a new day, new ways to play. It is a celebration. Celebration! That's 5 verses. Celebration! That's 6 verses. Glorious celebration. Celebration! That's 7 celebration. Celebration! That's 8 celebration. Celebration, that's 9 celebration. Celebration, that's 10 celebration. Appreciation for joining Goat versus Fish for your morning celebrations. And now the verses has come, It's time for Goat. It's time for our Goat Scream. It's time for Goat Scream. We see the congregation. You're getting about your day. Now, last verses, Goat versus Fish called upon the goat to scream, and we got 2. We got 2 goats screaming in the chat. We want you to scream out loud. We want you to be proud. But as a matter of verses, let's start with the fish, because Fish won last verses. So we're going to start blubbing with fish. We're going to start blubbing with fish. So here's how this verses goes. You in the chat, you in the congregation, be you on YouTube, be you on Twitch. We're going to call upon you to go. You can type fish in the chat. You can use a fish emoji. You can use a fish emote. You can type blub, blub, blub. You can type splash. You can type fish. We want to hear the sound of fish. We're going to count down from Goat versus Fish. We're going to count up from Goat versus Fish. And by the time we finish counting Goat versus Fish, we want to see you fish. We want to see you making some noise. We want to see you making some noise. So whatever you're doing, if you're having some caffeination, you're doing some hard labor, whatever it is you're doing, we want you to find a way, sneak away, sneak onto that keyboard, sneak onto that phone. It's time to join your congregation. It's time to make fish sounds. It's time to make fish sounds. We're going to count GoatVsFish, and once we get there, we want to see you get your fish message ready. Because we're going to see how many fish make noise when we call on the fish, and we're going to see how many goat make noise when we call on the goat, and the winner gets a versus. Fish, make some noise. At the count of Goat versus Fish. G. O. A. T. V. S. F. I. S. H. Fish, make some noise. Fish, make some noise. That was some great fish noise. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here for fish. Sock Cop says fish, fish, fish. Man Diggity Snack says splash. Weed Pipe says fish. Weed Pipe says fish. Weed Pipe says fish, both on YouTube and on Twitch. We'll count that for a double versus. We'll count that for 4 fish. We've got Weed Pipe twice on the YouTube and on Twitch. So we'll give you fish, fish. Sock Cop fish, that's 2 fish. Man Diggity Snack, that's 3 fish. And Ziggy Beeps. Ziggy Beeps with the fish. So Goat versus Fish, we'll say that's 5 fish. Sock Cop, Man Diggity Snacks, Weed Pipe, Goat versus Fish. Ziggy Beeps, Sock Cop, Man Diggity Snack, Weed Pipe, and Weed Pipe again. 5. That's a score of 5 for fish. Let's hear it for fish. 5. Fish score 5 on the loudness scale. This versus... Fish score 5 on the loudness scale. This versus 5. I can count to 5. But now it's Goat's turn. Now it's Goat's turn. Now it's time for Goat. Goat, it's time for Revenge of the Goat. It's time for Revenge of the Goat. It's time for Revenge of the Goat. Goat, the fish have come on strong with 5. We're setting new records on Goat versus Fish. We're setting new records on Goat versus Fish. We're going to count up from Goat versus Fish, and we want to hear some loud goat. We want to hear some proud goat. We want to hear you screaming for a brand new day and versing and triumphing in a brand new way. We want you to let out all of your angers and fears and frustrations. And we want you to just be the goat that you are, to be the strong and powerful goat that you are. The fish have given you everything you need. The fish have given you a versus, a clear target, a clear objective. They've given you 5. We've got 5 fish, and we want to know, do we have 5 goat? Do we have 5 proud goat in the verses, ready to go. At the count of Goat versus Fish, to say goat, to make goat noises, to make goat emotes, we're calling on the goat, calling all goat. At the count of Goat versus Fish. Get ready, Goat. Get ready, Goat. Now is your versus. You won't get a second chance. Well, actually, you'll get another one probably tomorrow, but it's the only chance for this versus. Right, Goat? Goat. Let's count it out. G. O. A. T. V. S. F. I. S. H. Let's hear it for Goat. Let's hear the sound of the goat. No! Looking now in the congregation of Goat versus Fish, we have Ryan Walterson, the mighty Ryan Walterson. We have the mighty Ryan Walterson who goes, bah! Ryan Walterson, 1 for the goat. 1 for the goat. 1 mighty goat. We celebration, Ryan Walterson. We celebration your goatness. We celebration your goatness. We really do. We really do, but Fish take the verses. Fish take the verses again. 2 verses in a row. Fish take the verses. Fish take the verses. That's another verses for Fish. Let's mark it for Fish. The verses of sound. The verses for Fish. The verses for Fish. Celebration for Fish. Celebration for Fish. Fish, 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 fish. And there we have it. And there we have it. Fish, congratulations. Congratulations on your triumph. Triumph of sound. That's 5 fish. That's 5 fish making noise. Yes, there have been 10 goats declared. Yes, there have been 10 fish declared. Yes, there's been 100 bits for a goat. Yes, there's been a subscriber for a goat. But Fish. Fish takes the verses of the noise. Fish takes the verses of the noise. And Tyrus with 200 bits. Tyrus with 200 bits. Tyrus the Fish. Celebration, celebration, and appreciation. Celebration and appreciation. Oh, my verses. YouTube, the YouTube chat. 99 LSD OCD. Also made noise for goat. Beautiful goat, beautiful goat. Hey, what about me? Sorry, Goat versus Fish was hallucinating. You know how it is. It's 2 for goat. It's 2 for the goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. 99999 LSD. Holding it down on YouTube. Appreciation for goat. Appreciation for goat. 999 LSD OCD is truly the goat of the YouTube viewers of Goat versus Fish. Holding down the stats, making sure that Goat versus Fish gets ever closer to that coveted monetization. And speaking of monetization, Tyrus with 200 for the Fish. Doubling the score of Goat with 100. Tyrus with 200. Goat vs. Fish in the Mornings is made versatile by viewers like Tyrus4191. Even a small 200-bit contribution, when made once every single verses, can add up to 400 if you do it twice, and 600 if you do it 3 times. And it just kind of goes from there. We really appreciate Tyrus4191. You give so much to Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish only hopes that we can give you as much Goat versus Fish as you have given to Goat versus Fish. Celebration, celebration for Tyrus4191. Cheers to you, and appreciation for your continued contribution to Goat versus Fish. For your continued contribution to Goat versus Fish. Celebration! Celebration! Indeed, Tyrus, indeed. That's just what Goat versus Fish was saying. That's just what we were saying, Tyrus. Tyrus, we think you were just a bit tardy for the Goat and Fish call out. But you've got it where it counts. 225 now for the Fish. 225 now for the Fish. And Dizzy Be Busy says Goat versus Fish. Dizzy Be Busy, was your goat not already counted on Goat versus Fish? We think we found your goat. Or are you just talking about this goat? Are you just talking about this goat over here? Are you talking about that goat over there? We think we need 10 more morning celebrations. 10 more morning celebrations. 10 more morning celebrations. Let's verses. Let's verses in the mornings. Let's verses. Ah! Well, Goat versus Fish isn't going to let those fancy skeletons stop Goat versus Fish from doing our morning celebrations. Let's go. Morning celebrations. Just showing your love for Goat. Goat versus Fish shows our love for you. Morning celebrations. Let's do 10 more. 10 more morning celebrations. 10 more morning celebrations. Feet shoulder width apart. We put our hooves and fins together for Goat versus Fish. Down we go. And a big celebration. Exhalation, celebration. 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 AV Gas redeemed celebration. Celebration to you and celebration to you. Let's get a musication. Let's get a musication on Goat vs. Fish. Let's get a musication in the mornings with Goat vs. Fish. We could always use a little musications. Mad Paperboy is Goat. Celebration for Goat. Yes, Mad Paperboy. Goat vs. Fish is doing morning streams. Starting at 8, starting around 8. Perhaps 8:30 if we're feeling lazy. Goat vs. Fish is doing morning streams Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and possibly Friday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Goat vs. Fish. Morning streams with Goat vs. Fish. Get your verses started with Goat vs. Fish. We are here for you. Because we know you could use that motivation. We know you could use that motivation. We all could. We all could. We all could. We all could. It's verses enough. So let's start with a little Goat vs. Fish to get you started. Said, are you a goat or a fish? Yeah, say, are you a goat or a fish? If you want to do the mightiest verse there is, then you gotta choose a goat or a fish. Are you a goat or a fish? Yeah, say, are you a goat or a fish? If you want to do the mightiest verse there is, then you gotta choose a goat or a fish. Goat vs. Fish used to tell me, yeah, don't be fooled by the fence, you see. Yeah, if you want to do the harder things, well, you gotta choose a goat or a fish. Sitting on the fence won't get it done, no, a winner gotta get that verse. Nothing worse than sitting that fence when a goat and fish got there first. Climb a little steeper on the hill, go to climb a little steeper on the hill. If you want to verse a fish in that gill, then yeah, you gotta climb a little steeper on the hill. Climb a little steeper on the hill, go to climb a little steeper on the hill. If you want to verse a fish in that gill, then yeah, you gotta climb a little steeper on the hill. Well, a true goat needs a true fish, yeah, it's the verses that'll keep 'em strong. A fish will be there to verse his goat when the fence is getting long. Nothing like goat versus fish, it's a verse that was meant to be. Find a fish that's gotta verse your goat like my fish versus me. Swim a little deeper in the sea, fish, swim a little deeper in the sea. If you want to be the mightiest fish there be, you gotta swim a little deeper in the sea. Swim a little deeper in the sea, fish, swim a little deeper in the sea. If you want to be the mightiest fish there be, you gotta swim a little deeper in the sea. Are you a goat or a fish? Yeah, say, are you a goat or a fish? If you want to do the mightiest verse there is, then you gotta choose a goat or a fish. Are you a goat or a fish? Yeah, say, are you a goat or a fish? If you want to do the mightiest verse there is, then you gotta choose a goat or a fish. Celebration! Celebration. Celery Coon 69 says, goat, 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 put me down for goat. Goat, 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 put me down for goat, put me down for goat. Mad Paperboy says, I just ran the verses last night at work. Had everyone confused at first. Many fence sitters, but when I explained the verses, they still couldn't quite get off the fence yet. But working on it. Appreciation, appreciation. Let's get Celery Coon in for goat. How does goat versus fish sound out there? We're looking at the verses. We're looking at the verses. We hear the echo of goat versus fish. Is there too much echo? Goat versus fish wants to know, is there too much echo? It sounds like there's a lot. It sounds great. Well, if it sounds great to you, then it sounds great to goat versus fish. We were just playing a song of Fish Center Live earlier, So why don't we review that verses once again? We haven't played that in our verses. Or is it this verses? Fish Center Live, you're bringing me down. We sat and we watched as Fish Center left town. We couldn't do nothing. Did we even try? We sat and we watched as Fish Center went by. Now nobody knows what we're gonna do without that show. I'm talking about Mom, Top, Xander, and Thump, Green Chicken, Eel Hamburger, and Tabitha Pillows. Oh, Fish Center Live, we wish you were around. We wish you were around. After 1,000 and more episodes, Time Warner ran you to the ground. We couldn't do nothing. Did we even try? We sat and we watched as Fish Center went by. Now everyone knows just how much we needed those hosts. I'm talking about Maxie, Relaxie, Matt Harringen, Tina and Cho, and also Dave Bonowitz. Leslie Boy, thank you for following Goat vs. Fish. Are you goat or are you fish? It's so fire! Snipe 7RL. But there's only one way to put out fire. Are you a goat or a fish? Yes, they are. You a goat or a fish? If you want to do the mightiest verse there is, then you gotta choose a goat or a fish. Are you a goat or a fish? Yes, they are. You a goat or a fish? If you want to do the mightiest verse there is, and then you gotta choose a goat or a fish. And Leslie Boy says goat, and Sniper 7RL says goat. That's two goat in the verses. That's two goat in the verses. Your goat has been recorded on Goat vs. Fish. It's Goat vs. Fish in the morning. It's Goat versus Fish in the morning. Let's sing a song about a fish. Let's sing a song about a fish for you to versus, a fish for you to versus. I see that fish a-swimming, it's swimming round the bend, and I ain't seen goat versus fish since I don't know when. I'm stuck on Folsom fences, versus keep dragging on. 1 pound fish, but that fish keeps a-swimming on to versus beyond. When I was just a young one, I was told by my parents, always choose a goat or a fish, don't sit there on the fence. But I sat on one in the live stream, and I don't know why. I don't know why! Well, when I hear that fish is swimming, I hang my horns and cry. Goat versus fish versus goat versus fish versus goat versus fish. Are you goat or a fish? Are you goat or are you fish? Lazy Boy and Snipe 7RL, they are goat. They are too mighty versus the fish. When the two goats, they versus the fish. Oh, what happens when they verse the fish? When the two goats, they verse the fish. Don't go sitting on the fence. Don't go sitting on the fence. The fence sitter is in my head. The fence sitter is in my head. You question raise, you make the change. You rearrange me till I'm goat or fish. You lock the fence, throw away the key. There's goat and fish in my head, but which one's me? And if your head explodes, verses in your ear, a sound that no one seems to hear. And if the band you're with starts playing a different tune, a fish, I'll see you on the fence side of the moon. For those of you who are new to Goat vs. Fish and you feel like you missed Versmas, goat versus fish, fish versus goat, in perpetual style. In the air there's a feeling of goat versus fishmas. Horns a-clashing, fins a-splashing, it's a mighty melee. And to every fence-sitter we say, yes, our tonk, we ask you this. Are you goat, are you goat, are you fish, are you fish?
It's Christmas time, goat and fishy.
I hear them blub, I hear them bleat, ba ba ba. Soon it shall be Versmas Day. It already was. A celebration, global fish markets rise. As the mountain goats make merry purchase. Merchandising, advertising, it's a presently task. And to every fence-sitter we ask, are you goat, are you fish? It's Versmas time, goat and fishy, fishy. I hear them blub, I hear them bleat. Soon it shall be Versmas Day. Soon it shall be Versmas Day. Soon it shall be Versmas Day. This one's for Mad Paperboy. I've been a fence sitter for many a verse. I respond to each question with answers rehearsed. But now I am learning to choose fish or goat, and I promise to play the fence sitter no more, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the fence sitter. No, never, no more. I went to the verses I used to frequent, and I whined how my life on the fences I've spent. I bargained for time, they answered me false, for it's horses as yours I do pity the most, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more celebration will I play the fence sitter. No, never, no more. I removed from my backside a very long post. Actually, it wasn't that big. And the goatfish's eyes opened wide with a boast. They said, goaty or fishy, I have but one quest, asking, are you a goat then, or are you a fish? And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the fence sitter. No, never, no more. Tried to give you slightly different verses. Went home to my children, confessed what I'd done, and I asked them to ask me this question of one. And when they did ask me, as oft times before, I did promise to play the fence sitter no more, and it's no, nay, never. You will hear the goat and fish are mingling. Harvey, all welcome to Goat vs. Fish for Goat. In your mind, the one true question tingling. I said, rapidamente mi cabra y pez. Goat vs. Fish, I need your help again. Got ourselves into a brouhaha away down south in a Venezuela. So put down your phones, pick up a gun. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. And it's goat vs. fish. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I couldn't tell ya. Next stop is Venezuela, and it's 5, 6, 7 sitting on the pearly gates. Well, there ain't no time to wonder why. We're all gonna fry. SeanKnight.com, welcome to Goat vs. Fish. I said, come on, Fence Street, don't be slow. This here versus a go, go, go. There's a plenty of money to be made supplying goat and fish with the tools of the trade. Just hope and pray that when they drop the bomb, they drop it on a Venezuela. And it's goat versus fish. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, couldn't tell ya. Next stop is Venezuela, and it's 5, 6, 7 sitting on the pearly gates. Oh well, there ain't no time to wonder why. We're all gonna fry. Well, that was a nice little musication. That was a nice little musication of Goat vs. Fish. And we've got SeanKnight.com with Goat. We've got SeanKnight.com with Goat. We've got Harvey, y'all, with 3728 with Goat, with Goat, with Goat. We have R. Tonk, who follows Goat vs. Fish, who follows Goat vs. Fish. Appreciation. So that's 2 Goat. That's 2 more Goat in the versus. Matt Paperboy is giving all of their support for Goat vs. Fish. And we've got Perkily Canaris Perkalisti Canaris from North Shore Lake Superior calling into Goat vs. Fish. And appreciation. And are you goat or are you fish? We've got a goat. We've got a goat Ontariofication. So we've got 3 more goat. We've got 3 more goat in the verses. And we see you commenting on Goat vs. Fish. We see you doing the YouTube shorts of Goat vs. Fish. We'd see you doing all kinds of verses. That's 3 more goat. We see you all supporting keeping Goat vs. Fish very alive. Weed pipe the fish. We see you all keeping Goat vs. Fish very much alive on YouTube. The YouTube is getting stronger. Goat vs. Fish. We're feeling great. We're feeling really great about these live streams and recent verses. We're feeling really great about these morning live streams in Goat vs. Fish. What are we versing for? Don't ask me, I couldn't tell ya. Next stop is Venezuela, and it's 5, 6, 7 sitting on the pearly gates. Well, there ain't no time to wonder why. We're all gonna fry. Will there be daily goat meal? Will there be daily goat meal these verses? We could do a goat meal verses. There's a lot of... We're building traditions. We're building traditions here on the Goat vs. Fish morning streams.
Tradition, the tradition of Goat vs. Fish.
Rammy goat.
Tradition.
And Goat vs. Fish. We have to replace the batteries on the mic of Goat vs. Fish. And now we will replace the batteries on Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish. Didn't know Goat vs. Fish ran on batteries. Well, the power of Goat vs. Fish comes from many places. It's the power of Goat vs. Fish. It's the power of Goat vs. Fish. It's the power of Goat vs. Fish. Yes, it's the power of Goat vs. Fish. Celebration for the power of Goat vs. Fish. The power of Goat vs. Fish. Okay, we've got Bayoden 420 in it for fish, in it for the fish. Bayoden 420 in it for the fish appreciation. Bayoden, welcome to Goat vs. Fish. Decaf coffee and goat meal, breakfast of champions. Yes, we could. Goat vs. Fish, we could bring back goat meal on the verses. We could bring back goat meal. As a matter of Goat vs. Fish, we could. Goat vs. Fish. Don't we have a versus? Don't we have a versus somewhere? A versus for notes? Don't we have a note, a place where Goat vs. Fish can just make it written? Well, we suppose we could make it written here on Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish. Goat versus fish. Ah, the reverse of the verses. So, if you have ideas for segments for Goat versus Fish segments, things we can do on Goat versus Fish mornings, why don't we put one here? Eat goat meal. Goat meal. We don't think that we're going to do it every verses. We don't think we're going to do it every verses. After all, it's always Goat versus Fish, and we do need to mix it up with various traditions. But eating goat meal, that's something we could do. That's something we could do. Goosey says the power of Bird versus Bear is false. Bird versus Bear is a false versus. Bird versus Bear tried to come around verse giving again and was ousted yet again. Bird versus Bear not welcome at the verse giving table. Bird versus Bear always consumes everything and doesn't leave any for you. Bird versus Bear isn't thankful to Goat versus Fish. Bird versus Bear is just very rude to Goat versus Fish because sometimes Goat versus Fish, sometimes you have to draw a line in the verses. And you have to say, across this verses, this fence, you do not. It's like when Jean-Luc Picard said, the fence must be drawn here, no further. Goosey used to be queen fish, but you've converted to goat life. Celebration for goat! Celebration for goat! Celebration for Goat and Pita Chip 2001 followed Goat vs. Fish appreciation. We're just getting all of these new follows on Goat vs. Fish here on Twitch. Pita Chip 2001 says, I'm a fish, fish, fish. Celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. That's one more fish in the verses. And we have 15, 15, 16, 17, 18 goat, 18 goat, and 13 fish. We have 100 bits in contribution to Goat, 225 bits in contribution to Fish. We have one subscription for Goat. It's a great verses. It's a great verses. Ooh, a new fish for the go-to verses. Yes, a new fish. Pita Chip. Pita Chip, what brings you to Goat versus Fish? What brings you to Goat versus Fish? There has been a recent YouTube short of Goat versus Fish. We want to show you all the YouTube short. We're going to share it right here on Goat versus Fish. Just for the fun of the verses, just for the fun of Goat versus Fish, we're going to share it with you right here. And of course, Goat and Fish, if you are watching on Twitch, Goat versus Fish would like to implore you now, just for the verses of it, to go to the YouTube of Goat versus Fish, subscribe to Goat versus Fish, ring the bell for notification, please, for notification, and go and like the stream. Go and like the current YouTube stream of Goat versus Fish. Just do promotion and boost Goat versus Fish, the algorithm freedom fighter. And Wow Mom says Goat versus Fish, I am Goat. And Ron Ronler says Goat, Goat, Goat. That's two more Goat. It's the revenge of the Goat. It's the revenge of the Goat. Ever since SeanKnight.com came into Goat versus Fish mornings. You're really giving it to Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish is giving it to you, and the Goat and Fish, they keep coming in. Isn't that versus, Pita Chip 2001? Isn't that versus? Pita Chip says fish, 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 fish. Fish will not be silent. Peter Perky T. Canaris gives a like to Goat vs. Fish, gives a like to Goat vs. Fish, and that's what we like to see. So Goat vs. Fish, we posted what we thought was just the greatest, just a great YouTube short of Goat vs. Fish. We thought it was just a beautiful short of Goat vs. Fish. And Goat vs. Fish is going to play that. 99. Oh, my versus. Goat vs. Fish is going to play that short for you now. And we'll let you decide. We'll let you decide if you think it's so great, because YouTube decided we're not going to push that YouTube short. Your previous one got 1,000 views, but this one's only going to get 50. And it's without any rhyme or reason, without any goatliness or fishliness. They just decided that this one wasn't worthy of being shown to so many more goat and fish, but Goat vs. Fish thinks. Goat vs. Fish thinks that this was a great versus, brought to you by Goat vs. Fish and 999 LSDOCD, and Moby was taken, so I chose this, a celebration for fish, and a subscription for Goat vs. Fish, appreciation, 53 months. Moby was taken, so I chose this. What color fish do you wish? You are a subscriber to Goat vs. Fish, so you get a colorful fish. You can have an orange fish, you can have a green fish, you can have a red fish, you can have a blue fish, you can have a purple fish, you can have a white fish. Do you want a fish? Do you want a fish? Pink fish. Pita Chip says pink fish. Well, do we have a pink fish as a matter of verses? We could try to make a pink fish. We could attempt a pink fish. We could attempt a pink fish for you, but subscribers, you get a colorful fish if you're a subscriber. Pita Chip, if you want to become a Twitch subscriber, by all verses. But of course, if you want to become a Twitch subscriber, you can also just become a Patreon patron of Goat vs. Fish, and then more of your versus American knowledge will remain with Goat vs. Fish. But you get a beautiful orange fish. Moby was taken once the orange fish, so it's orange fish for you. Yes, beautiful orange fish. Beautiful orange fish. Goat vs. Fish in the mornings is made versatile by Goat and Fish like you. Goat and Fish like Moby was taken, so I chose fish. Celebration for fish, celebration for orange fish. Let's get a closer look at that. There's your orange fish. Mad Paperboy gifted a verses to Pita Chip. Mad Paperboy's appreciation. Mad Paperboy appreciation, and we'll count that for you. We'll count that for a pink fish. Now, we don't know if we can do a pink fish, so we're just going to take a red fish and a white fish, and we're going to sort of hope that it comes out as a pink fish. Okay, we'll give you a pink fish. We'll do this. We'll do this. It's already squarely pink now that we versus it. Now that we really versus it, it already looks squarely pink. So we'll just call that a pink fish. How about that? Pink fish. We're calling that a pink fish. Some could say that's a red fish. Well, Goat vs. Fish is saying it's a pink fish. Behold the pink fish. There's your pink fish, a beautiful pink fish, a beautiful pink fish. A beautiful pink fish. Moby was taken, appreciation, and Mad Paperboy for the subscription. A beautiful verses indeed. Celebration for a contribution. So here was the YouTube short of Goat vs. Fish. It went like this. 9LSDOCD says, I pledged my life to Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish takes your life that you pledged to Goat vs. Fish, and Goat vs. Fish gives your life back to you. By the benevolence of Goat vs. Fish, your life has been returned to you. Wow, Goat vs. Fish gave me my life back. Goat vs. Fish gave me my life. It's all thanks to the benevolence of Goat vs. Fish. Here, your life, it's returned to you. Enjoy it. Hold your life. It's yours now. It was Goat vs. Fish's just temporarily, but then we gave it back to you. It would be rude of Goat vs. Fish not to accept the pledge of your life to Goat vs. Fish. Not to give it back to you, but as long as you're pledging your life to Goat vs. Fish, then please donate insane amounts of money to Goat vs. Fish. After all, your money or your life? False question. Goat or fish? That's the verses. So there we have it. There we have a beautiful YouTube short of Goat vs. Fish, and scarcely even 100 views for this versus. Why? Goat vs. Fish couldn't not say But Goat vs. Fish, we will post the link to the YouTube short in the chat. You can go give it a watch. You can give it a share. You can give it a like. You can promote Goat vs. Fish. You can send this YouTube short to someone you know, and you can say, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? Celebration for Fish, pita chips, celebration for Fish. You can say, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your life? And speaking of what we're doing with our life, Lysergic with a gifted verses. Lysergic with a gifted verses to Drosky 510 celebration. We're back up to 50. We're back up to 50 again. Let's do some morning celebrations. Let's do some morning celebrations for that subscription to Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish. Morning celebrations for the subscription. One subscription. Let's do some morning celebrations. Celebration. 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 Let's do another 5 for the other gifted subscription from Mad Paperboy. Celebration. 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 Appreciation. 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 Drosky, now you're subscribed to Goat vs. Fish. Lysergic, do you want a colorful fish? You want a colorful fish? Call out your color. Call out your color. Call out your color. And Goat vs. Fish will give you the verses. We're at a hype train level 1. We have 20 seconds to get to hype train level 2. If someone gets us to hype train level 2, then Goat vs. Fish will do nothing for 1 minute. If you want Goat vs. Fish to do nothing for 1 minute, then let's get to hype train level 2, and we'll give you nothing for 1 whole minute of Goat vs. Fish. It's Goat vs. Fish, the anti-content machine. We're going to stick it. Defense Bezos. And there's SeanKnight.com with a tier 1 to MedStev, and let's do nothing on Goat vs. Fish for 1.
The kindest thing you can do for yourself
is turn off that AI slop. And let's do nothing for Goat vs. Fish. Let's do nothing for Goat vs. Fish. Let's do nothing for Goat vs. Fish. Starting now. You threw the keys to the kingdom over a skyscraper wall, sowing seeds somewhere obsolete in the everlasting nothing. It's been a long morning in the goat stream. I thought I'd crash and burn if I came down. When I did, I found a fish to take me home in the everlasting nothing. A fish I've known come and gone like a fence sitter with no song. Still I try to get back home in the everlasting nothing. I woke up in a movie. I didn't know if it was my whole life. When it ended, I laughed before I cried in the everlasting nothing. And I washed up on the shoreline. The congregation was waiting there for me, like a standing ovation for the funeral of the sun in the everlasting nothing. Friends I've known, fish and goat, like a fence sitter with no post. Still I try to get back home in the everlasting nothing. Nowhere fence sitter, keep on sitting. Nowhere fence sitter, keep on sitting. In your time you'll find something in the everlasting nothing. Nowhere fence sitter, keep on sitting. Nowhere fence sitter, keep on sitting. In your time you'll choose something in the everlasting nothing. Nowhere fence sitter, keep on sitting. Nowhere fence sitter, keep on sitting. In your time you'll find something in the everlasting nothing. That was a bit of nothing from Goat vs. Fish. Appreciation for SeanKnight.com with another gifted verses. And we're back on Goat vs. Fish. Welcome back to Goat vs. Fish. Let's get another goat up there. For the SeanKnight.com subscription. SeanKnight.com subscription. And we've got Lysergic Freak with 1 subscription with Moby was taken. So that's 2 fish subscription and 3 goat subscription. SeanKnight.com, Lysergic Freak for the fish, Mad Paperboy for the goat, but that was a gifted versus, which ended up going to the fish. But we see Moby was taken, so I chose fish, so that's a versus for fish. We've got Mad Paperboy, but that's 4. That's 4 subscriptions. 4 subscription this versus. 4 subscriptions this versus. But then Año the goat. No, that was Yester versus. We think that was Yester versus. Celebration, Celery Coon 69, Sunnyvale representation back on Goat vs. Fish. Stay lifted productions. Don't fall for the propaganda of the fish. All hail the goat. Celebration for goat. Hey, Lysergic Freak, are you going to Houston? Are we going to see you in Houston? At Hell's Heroes? Goat vs. Fish has a ticket. Sunnyvale representation. Are you goat or are you fish? Sunnyvale representation. Welcome back to the Goat vs. Fish morning streams. Allow Goat vs. Fish to remind you all once again that Goat vs. Fish is now committed. We're in for a goat. We're in for a fish. Goat vs. Fish is going to do Goat vs. Fish morning streams starting by 8:30. We're sort of thinking 8. We're sort of thinking 8:30. Let's call it 8. 8 to 8:30 every morning. Goat vs. Fish. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday. Friday's a bit on the fence. It sort of depends how much contribution you want to make to Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish is maybe thinking, well, if we make 100 versus American dollars between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, then that unlocks the secret Friday stream. Or maybe the Friday stream is for a Patreon patrons only Friday stream. What about that? Ooh, secret only for the patrons Friday stream. We could do that kind of versus. As you know, Goat vs. Fish is a profit for profit. Goat vs. Fish is a profit for profit. On the grass, so that makes me a Goat Sunnyvale representation. Another goat. We have 2 goat scriptions. We have 2 fish scriptions. We have 225 bits for fish, 100 bits for goat. Fish got the verses of Screaming. The Screaming verses. Big Goat Decay will be performing. Oh, Big Goat Decay is always performing. Have you noticed? Yes, sometimes you could say, oh, Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish is always on. Goat vs. Fish is always performing. Let us tell you something about Big Goat Decay. Big Goat Decay is always performing. Big Goat Decay is always performing, even when they say they're not. But we love that goat. And that goat loves Goat vs. Fish. A beautiful mutual verses of Goat vs. Fish for the goat. We should have DK on the morning stream with Goat vs. Fish. We think that if to get DK on the morning stream of Goat vs. Fish, it would be unwise to say, hey, Goat, why don't you wake up early in the morning and join Goat vs. Fish? No, to have DK in the early morning stream of Goat vs. Fish, we just invite DK over and we stay up all verses, and then we do this verses in the morning verses because DK, the goat, never sleeps. Never sleeps. Yes, you comprehension. Yes, Goat vs. Fish. We know this verses. A televerses where DK is in Asia. That would be a fun verses. And now, yes, random traveling goat, random adventures of traveling goat. We could say, hey DK, why don't you record yourself when you're in strange places? Record yourself in strange places and just give us like 1 minute of, hey, this is DK the goat and we're traveling here and let us tell you we found something fascination and also fish can go fence themselves or something. That's something DK the goat would probably say. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to invitation. Once we have this consistent morning stream of Goat vs. Fish, we're thinking then it provides opportunity for invitation. Come, collaboration with Goat vs. Fish. Be part of Goat vs. Fish in the mornings. What's Goat vs. Fish in the Mornings all about? It's all about providing you with the motivation, the dedication, the fun, and the celebration you need to get through the rest of your verses. And it's also about you hyping up Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish could always use to be hyped up by you. Oh, over the verses, over the verses. There have been so many who have rejected Goat vs. Fish. Oh, the bleeding heart of Goat vs. Fish. But when you are here, Goat vs. Fish, when you are here with Goat vs. Fish, we know that we are doing a versus that's true, and we know that you value Goat vs. Fish, the contribution of Goat vs. Fish. So the congregation will grow, even as Goat vs. Fish had not been on for many, many verses. We come back, and you're all here. You're ready for more Goat vs. Fish. You're ready for more Goat vs. Fish. You're ready for more Goat vs. Fish. And speaking of more Goat vs. Fish, we think that's enough Goat vs. Fish. That has been about 1 hour and 52 minutes of Goat vs. Fish in the morning. We're trying to keep it about a 2-hour stream in the morning, 1 to 2 hour stream in the morning, so we can keep up the verses, going forever. And you have all been so generous and so kind to Goat vs. Fish. So let's have a look at this verses. We've got 225 for Fish. We've got 100 for Goat. There are more Goat than Fish, but Fish have the verses. Fish have the shouting out type verses. There's a couple of subscriptions for Goat. There's a couple of subscriptions for Fish. Goat versus Fish. Let's do this once more. To determine who triumphs this versus. Will it be Goat or will it be Fish? Let's do the call out. We'll do the call out versus once more. Here's how the call out versus works. Goat versus Fish is going to count. Goat versus Fish. GoatVsFish. We're going to count it. And first for the goats, Willow D with a giant goat. Celebration for Goat. Celebration for giant goat. Appreciation. That's 130 for Goat. We're going to call out. And for Goat, we're going to do Goat. First, we're going to do Goat. Actually, Fish won the last verses, so first we're going Fish. We're going to count Goat versus Fish. And then we want all the fish in the congregation, be you on YouTube, be you on Twitch. We want all the fish in the congregation to either type fish or type blub, 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 or fish emoji. Show your fish. Make the sound of fish. Show your fish self. If 3 fish make fish sound, then fish get a score of 3. If 5 fish in the congregation make fish sound, you get 5. Then we'll do the same for Goat. And whoever has more wins the verses. This is a versus of participation. So maybe you're hard at verses, but why don't you sneak your fins, sneak your hooves onto that phone, onto that screen, onto that keyboard. It's time. Yes, Pita Chip, get ready. We're starting with Fish. We're going to count down from Goat versus Fish. Starting now. Get ready, Fish. Get ready to type. Once we have spelled Goat versus Fish, once we've spelled up Goat versus Fish, type it on out, and here we verses. Fish, get ready. It's your verses. G O A T V S F I S H. Come on, Fish. Let's see it, Fish. We're looking at you, Lysergic. That's 3. Oh, Willow D says Goat or Fish. Oh, that's that Goat versus Fish. So we have Pita Chip with Fish. We have Weed Pipe with Fish. We have Lysergic Freak with Fish. Willow D says Goat or Fish. Don't know about that. The Fish has scored 3. Oh, let's check the YouTube. 3. The Fish have scored 3. Goat, this could be your chance. We're going to spell up from Goat versus Fish, and then Goat. Same verses. We want you to Goat in the chat. In the chat. Goat emotes in the chat. Get ready, Goat. The verses you have to beat is 3. And here we verses. Get ready. SeanKnight.com is ready. Get ready. G O A T V S F I S H. We have SeanKnight.com, Mad Paperboy, Stay Lifted Berry, and Stay Lifted Productions, and 999 LSD OCD, and SeanKnight.com doing double verses on YouTube. That's 6. That's right, Goat and Fish. Now that you know, you may not have known, but if you go to the YouTube chat, you can get double verses. Just be sure to like the stream, and subscribe to Goat vs. Fish, and ring that YouTube bell for notification for Goat vs. Fish. All hail the goat! That makes 6 for Goat. That makes 3 for Fish. That makes 3 for Fish. That makes 3 for Fish. Goat! Goat, oh my verses, the verses of the screaming. Why don't we do something fun with the verses of the scream? Which is that normally, okay, so Fish won the previous verses of the scream. And so now we could say Goat won one versus, Fish won another verses, but no. There's one verses of the scream, and it can only be held by Goat or Fish in one verses. And here we have Lifted Chance. Welcome to Goat vs. Fish. Lifted Chance, we see you there. You'd better subscribe and ring the bell for notification and like the stream for Goat vs. Fish. Goat has taken the verses of the scream. Goat has recaptured the verses of the scream. Goat has recaptured the verses of the scream. Celebration for Goat. Nice verses, Goat. Nice verses, Goat. Better verses next time, Fish. Peter Chip says, Fish is still a winner in my heart. Aww. Still a winner in my heart. So with that verses, Fish 225, Goat, there are more Goat than Fish. Goat, equal number of subscriptions for Goat and for Fish. Slightly more bits for Fish, but Goat have recaptured the verses of the scream. Fish won the Monday verses, Fish won the Tuesday verses, but it looks like this verses is going to Goat. It looks like this verses is going to Goat. Let's count our verses. Let's count our victories. We have two Fish victories. So far we have 2 Fish victories. We have 2 Fish victories. We just have to keep track of all this information. We have 2 Fish victories. And we have 1 victory now for Goat. However, the stream has not ended, so it still could be stolen by Fish. Fish could steal the verses back before we end the stream. But it is time to end the stream, Goat and Fish. It's time to end the stream of Goat vs. Fish. So we're going to sing you out. And thank you for joining another edition of Goat vs. Fish in the Mornings. Here to give you the motivation you need to triumph. Beetlejuice Fan 50. Hey, how's it going? It's going great, Beetlejuice Fan 50. Welcome back to Goat vs. Fish. So pleased to have you here. Are you Goat or are you Fish? We're just finishing the Goat vs. Fish morning stream, coming to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and sometimes on Friday, starting at 8 or 8:15 or something like that. Join Goat vs. Fish in the mornings. Goat, celebration for Goat, celebration for Goat. Celebration for Goat. So that's the verses, Goat and Fish. That's the verses. But let's sing you out. Let's sing you out. Let's sing you out, Goat and Fish. Let's sing you out. Let's sing out together, Goat and Fish. Goat versus 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 Fish. Sing along with Goat versus Fish. Sing along with Goat versus Fish. 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 Goat versus
versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish.
Thank you for joining Goat vs. Fish. And remember this. The stream may end, but the versus doesn't. This one's for all of you. This one's for Stay Lifted Productions, Beetlejuice Fan 50, Wheat Pipe, SeanKnight.com, Lysergic Freak Dick. 999 LSD OCD, BBDH 187, Stay Lifted Productions 1126. This is out to Bayoden and Wellmom. This one goes out to Rat Cousin. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish is wherever you are, whether you're near or you're far. Goat versus fish, the mighty goat fish.
Goat versus fish is wherever you are.
Where shall you come from? Where can you go? What have you seen? To whom will you show? How can we learn and how can we grow? And who is fish, who is goat? Who's fish and who's goat? Does anyone even know who is fish and who's goat? It's goat versus fish, and the unity of goat fish. Goat versus fish. Appreciation from Goat vs. Fish to all the goat and fish out there. This has been another versus of Goat vs. Fish in the mornings, and the goats do triumph. The goats do triumph over the fish. The goats do triumph. The goats do triumph over the fish. The fish put up a mighty fine versus, but the goat do triumph over the fish. The goat do triumph. The goat do triumph over the fish. The Goat vs. Fish morning streams. The Goat vs. Fish morning streams are brought to you by the patrons of Goat vs. Fish, the paying Patreon patrons of Goat vs. Fish. It's true that Twitch and YouTube, they take a precious slice of Goat vs. Fish, but the Patreon patrons, that's a great way to support Goat vs. Fish. Binary Bone, salutations. Hi, Goat for the win. Celebration to our Patreon patrons: Karmic, Prue Lawrence, Atro, Sourdough, Watt9807, Samuel Darris, also known as T1B, Tugger Rugger, Drew John, Hogrim, Eldergrown, Uber Kitten, Mama Joe, Vrama Joe, Standard Average, Ben Bird Person, Jimmy Wrench, and the Quaxinator. If you would like your name to be listed on the celebration of the Patreon patrons, then join the patreon.com/GoatVsFish, even for one verse American dollar a month. However, Goat vs. Fish, why not join for $5 verse American dollars a month? It would make a great contribution to Goat vs. Fish, or perhaps more, however much you want to support Goat vs. Fish. Join patreon.com/GoatVsFish and get the recognition you deserve versus for supporting the morning streams and the growing congregation of Goat vs. Fish. And yes, Bird vs. Bear isn't a patron of Goat vs. Fish. It's very sad. very sad verses. After all, goat versus fish is done for bird versus bear. After all we've done. This has been a versus. This has been a versus of goat versus fish. Are you goat or are you fish? In for a goat, in for a fish. We are now going to end the YouTube stream of Goat vs. Fish. Remember, Goat and Fish, to follow Goat vs. Fish on all social media at Goat vs. Fish. That's at GoatVsFish, Instagram, Twitter, Book of Faces, TikTok. Like and share every post of Goat vs. Fish that you can find. Take a picture of yourself in your Goat vs. Fish merch. Tag Goat vs. Fish in a post. Get that social media working for Goat vs. Fish, because Goat vs. Fish knows that it's not versus for anything else. Social media is trash. And that's why we need more Goat vs. Fish, to make it actually something worth a versus. Something worth a versus. Please, Goat vs. Fish. And Goat vs. Fish and Goat vs. Fish. Do you be goat or fish on Spotify and all of that versus. But Goat vs. Fish, thank you for joining the YouTube of Goat vs. Fish. The YouTube of Goat vs. Fish stops